I want to start by recognizing that we are gathering tonight on the unceded territories of the Shuswap and Wachusett First Nations. My name is Sharie Minions, and I am so proud to be the mayor of this community. In 2018, this community took a chance on me. I was 30 years old, a mother of 4, a wife, an entrepreneur, and a city councillor at the time. Some people said I was too young to be the mayor, some said I was too busy. I was told occasionally I didn't have the life experience needed. Some people told me I should be home taking care of my children. There were many reasons you could have chosen someone else. But I brought a vision for a vibrant, welcoming, waterfront community that values all people and is able to find balance between good jobs and quality of life. You chose me to lead this community, and I couldn't be more grateful to have had the opportunity to serve you as mayor. I was elected alongside 6 people, some of whom I often joke I would not have chosen. But you chose us, and as a result, we worked together, and we worked intentionally to choose each other. Working together, finding common values, getting to know each other, and getting to understand why each of us was there became our job and our priority. After 4 years of working together, I am proud to say that I would choose each of those councillors today. Our council has worked together, demonstrated positive leadership through difficult times, and changed the course of our community as a result. To each member of my council, it has been an absolute honor to work alongside you, and I'm very grateful for the contribution that each of you have made to our community. The past 4 years have been filled with a lot of challenge, but there's always opportunity in challenge. A guiding principle of our council's strategic plan is to build a complete community. That means not focusing in on 1 or 2 projects, but rather recognizing that building a successful community is all about balance and recognizing the broad spectrum of needs that exist. Reconciliation, housing, the opioid crisis, physician and healthcare worker attraction, small business supports, marketing for tourism, recreation, arts and culture, infrastructure, public safety, economy, environment, and a lot more. It takes a multifaceted approach to build a strong community that will prosper now and into the future. I'm proud of the progress that we've been able to accomplish on much of these initiatives, despite the difficult term that we have had with all that has happened. And 10 minutes, although it sounds like a lot, is really not long enough for me to talk about these things, so I'm going to try to make it through a few of what I really consider our successes. I want to start with housing. I could talk about housing, I think, for an hour, but I will try to be brief. We are in a housing crisis completely, and it's out of control. Designated affordable housing is absolutely critical, and our council took an aggressive approach, proactively donating land to several housing projects, as well as cutting development cost charges to encourage BC Housing to approve some critical projects in this community. We are proud to have more than 200 designated affordable housing units coming to this community as a result of a partnership with all levels of government, our incredible nonprofit service providers in this community, and First Nations partners. Seniors housing is another area I'm very proud of. We are just beginning construction on a new 103-unit beautiful seniors housing complex. This project is nonprofit, however, it is not designated affordable, but it still is a critical part of the housing complex that we need in our community. We know that there are many people in our community who can afford to pay for quality seniors care, but as a result of us currently only having subsidized seniors care, people in our community who can pay end up taking a bed from somebody who can't pay. Our pod housing project for the homeless is a project that I am very passionate about and very proud of. This is a temporary solution to address an emergency situation that exists in our community for our most vulnerable members. This site will provide homes to the current residents of the 4th Avenue trailers, at which point that site will be shut down, and this is something the city has been working on for years. I can't speak about this project without recognizing that we are only able to have success here as a result of the partnerships that we've formed that have led us to success. So I really have to thank the Wachusett First Nation, Shuswap First Nation, the Friendship Centre, New Channel Tribal Council, and BC Housing. We would not have been successful in this project without each of these partners. Additional to all of the affordable housing units we have coming in the community, we have increased our general housing construction as well, increasing permits issued from an average of $16 million per year up to $80 million per year. That means a drastically increased tax base to be able to fund the projects that we want and fund the infrastructure that we need without overwhelming our tax base. To give an example of this new taxation, the old ADSS site alone once it's completed and it's built out, will provide over $600,000 every single year going forward in new taxation to our community. We are no longer a desperate community. We don't need to approve anything that comes. We are thriving and we are growing. We can and we should choose exactly the developments we want to build exactly the community we want now and into the future. Moving on from housing, there's much work that has been done that I'm proud of in our community. Quite a bit of it has been highlighted tonight. 300 new childcare spaces have been funded in our community over the last 4 years, again, as a result of many really critical partnerships that have existed. The train station, I'm proud of the restoration work that has gone on there, and I'm proud that we're putting a tenant into that space who is making room for selling train tickets, so that the train, when it does hopefully come back into service and provide a budget for that, the train will still have a space to have tickets purchased. We have received more than $10 million for grants into this community in the last 4 years, and that's additional to all of the affordable housing projects that have come. Those would put it many $1 million more than that. We have finally completed a new sewage treatment facility, and while this may not sound exciting, this is the single largest infrastructure project that has ever been completed in the city of Port Alberni. It is built for growth. It's 4 times the size of our last facility. It's far superior with UV filtration, improved aeration, and much more. It will lead to cleaner waterways in critical fish habitat areas, and once the old lagoon is decommissioned, it should also address the smell, which I know is something people really care about. We are seeing major growth in our economy, specifically around clean and green industries, with the community leading the way in job growth in the blue economy, where companies like Cascadia Seaweed and Coastal Restoration Society are making us proud with the work that they're doing. Coastal Restoration, as one example, has purchased the old Bank of Montreal building, and they are preparing to hire more than 200 employees with starting wages exceeding $30 an hour. We know that it's been a difficult time in the forest sector with many changes, but I'm proud that I've recently been appointed by the Minister of Forests to the Forestry Resiliency Council for the province, where I will have the opportunity to directly influence forest policy as the industry transitions from high volume to high value. And we are, of course, seeing significant investment in our community in the forest sector as well from companies like Sandbrook. The pool, I understand nobody wants to hear this, myself included. We are doing another study. We are very much wanting to move forward with this project, and the regional district has asked that we do not use the city study that was done in 2011. If we want to be partners with the regional district on this project, we have to respect that they would like to see a study that engages their population. My push has been for the pool that it is absolutely not acceptable for the 17,000 people who happen to live within the city limits to pay 100% of the cost of an asset, operation, and capital for an asset that is supposed to serve our entire valley. I have held firm on this because it is my job to represent taxpayers of the city of Port Alberni. This is a regional asset and it needs to be funded regionally. I am proud of this work. All of this work, and more so, I am proud that we have done all of this with the lowest consecutive 3-year tax increase of any community on Vancouver Island. It has been a hard term, and I hear that from people a lot. This council has taken on some long-standing and difficult issues. We've made hard decisions, and I know that we haven't always been right. But we've made the best decisions we could at the time with the information we had in front of us. And when we have had time to reflect, we have paused on several of our projects, taken input, and changed our course as a result. I know that some of the decisions we've made have been hard and have upset people, and I think that all the comments from my opponent tonight about drag racing are a good indicator of that. We didn't always make the right decisions, and we didn't always make decisions that necessarily were what the community wanted. But we're working hard to build solutions, and drag racing is one that I've been very involved in trying to build a solution for, and we are optimistic that in the very near future we will have a solution there. I gotta skip ahead here, I could talk all day. When I ran for mayor in 2018, my all candidates meeting speech talked about the importance of being the community spokesperson. I have ended up in the media far more times than I ever expected to, but every opportunity that I've been in the news has been an opportunity for me to tell the story of who we are in Port Alberni. Through forest sector changes and the ongoing strike that happened, I told the world that we are a strong community and we will get through this. In the early days of COVID, I shared how the people of our community came together to feed people off of a food truck hundreds of meals a day when the soup kitchen was closed down. When we were faced with horrible tragedies that I don't want to speak about today, I showed the world that no matter how horrible the situation, we are a compassionate community that takes care of each other. And when we served notice of expropriation on the Somas Mill site, we told the world that we are a community community that is taking control of its future. We have changed the perception of Port Alberni, and that is perhaps the work I am most proud of. On October 15th, I ask for your support to continue to serve as your mayor, and I ask for your support to help us keep the momentum that is going in this community moving forward. Thank you.